What's going on, people? We're back here once again, Sunday evening or Sunday night, where I am to bring you guys my weekly watch list. So, how we usually do this, I have about 12 to 15 stocks on my radar. We're going to go through the charts. We'll have a look at Yahoo Finance, talk a little bit about, what I'm looking at, what I'm expecting this week. Then we'll also just, open the floor to you guys to drop your stocks to watch and obviously answer any questions you may have. As you guys probably know, this week is not as hyped a week in regards to earnings. We've kind of had the hype, which was the past few weeks, I'd say, regarding earnings. So it's kind of like we've kind of wound down from earnings season right now. So it's kind of really just the pure setups right now. So yeah, let's definitely get into it. And I'm going to start off with the VIX. Actually, before I go into the VIX, I'm going to start off with going on to Yahoo Finance. Okay. The reason I'm doing this now is because, when you're getting ready for a week of markets, you want to have a bit of an idea of what's happening, right? So a week ahead, fresh inflation reading and, markets close to the all-time highs again. So what to know this week? I'm obviously not going to go into too much detail, but look, S&P is now roughly 2% from reaching a fresh all-time high. So think about it this way. Back in April, Liberation Day, markets were down in the dumps. Markets suffered. We had lots of the fear, uncertainty, and doubt. First week of April, and we've risen, I think, about 20 something percent since then. The the S&P was 2% away from the all-time highs. Last week we ended on a high note, so that means we closed the week bullish. We started June bullish. When you read those kind of things, it gives you positivity sentiment around the week, which is upcoming. So this week, some things to look out for. We're going to get updates on consumer and also wholesale inflation for last month. So that's really what's going to headline this week. Like I said, no real big earnings plays, no real big tech reporting earnings. None of the big blue chip companies really reporting earnings. There's just a couple here and there. And then we had NFP on Friday. The May jobs reports. So which that also went well. So that was good to see. And yeah, I mean, that's mainly it for that part of things. Now I'm going to skip reading any other articles. That's the main things I wanted to look at Yahoo Finance. Let's go over to TradingView. So we're going to dive right into my watch list. Okay. Now, one thing I want to highlight with this is I'm going to start off with the VIX. The VIX, since the spike in April, when it was at 60, which is crazy, the VIX is at $16.77 or 16.77, whatever you want to call it, right? So it's at its lows pretty much of the year, which is good. That means we have low fear right now, low uncertainty, low doubt. That means it's good for the market, and that gives us some bullish sentiment going into this week. Now, like I said, earnings season is pretty much done, and a lot of the major market movers, your Nvidias, Teslas, Apples, Amazons, Metas, all them kind of stocks have already reported earnings. So we shouldn't see as much volatility. And again, the VIX is pretty low, which is again good for us going into a week like this. That being said, anything can happen at any time. You saw what happened with the Trump and Elon drama last week, which we'll talk about later. But again, just so we can get an idea of sentiment, VIX is low. VIX low means markets are up, right? When VIX was high back in April, markets were down. So one second. I think the only thing we need to watch out for tomorrow is there is a meeting with like the Chinese bank. Let's see if I can find China. Right. Yeah. So, yep. So exactly. Oh, that's near me as well. So they're holding some fresh talks in London tomorrow, with the Chinese banks. And I'm guessing if all goes to plan, we should see a nice push from the market. If there's more uncertainty around, then the markets could fall. But yeah, that's something to look out for, whenever this talk is happening tomorrow. Okay. So my first stock to watch for this week is Amazon, ticker symbol AMZN. Okay. Now with Amazon, one thing I want to highlight is We are above all the moving averages. That's bullish, right? We're above all the moving averages. And when we're above all the moving averages, I'm happy because again, it shows us that we're in a good period of time. We're seeing the stock pump, you know, we're seeing we're seeing it move towards, new highs, let's say, new highs for the month, new highs for the year, whatever the case may be. In this case, it's going to be new highs for the month. Okay. So if you don't know, hold on, I think I'm hearing some noises. Is that from here or the Discord? Let me know if you guys are hearing the noises in the chat as well, because it is actually distracting. If it's me, then I'll close it. But if it's from the Discord, then Okay, so they say it's from the Discord. Someone is unmuted. Okay. So, like I said, Amazon is looking good, right? We have the first thing I want you to point out. I've already said the moving averages, we're looking good. But look at this hammer candle, right? So what does this hammer candle mean on the daily Friday? So they had price, which they tried to push all the way down here, which they did, but it closed up here. That's a strong bullish sign going into the new week, right? No matter what stock it is, if you see a green hammer candle like this, that's a good sign. That's a positive sign, right? So think about this, right? We go to the weekly chart. Here we go. The green and the orange indicators are moving to the upside. They're crossing to the upside, the EMAs. We've had back-to-back green weeks. We're starting to approach that level of resistance, 216 on the weekly chart. And that means on this daily chart too, it's something we can reach for, right? When you're trading stocks, one thing you like to see is continuations. Here, I think a couple of weeks ago, I said my price target for Amazon was 210. We just broke past that with a hammer candle. Very bullish. Great signs. That's the technical front. Now, if you want to wrap some fundamentals in there as well, think of it this way. SpaceX is obviously owned by Elon Musk. If SpaceX loses their Trump contracts, right, people might start coming to Bezos and saying, what have you got for us? And we know Bezos hasn't got anything as close to what Elon has got yet, but it may be something to just be aware of on the fundamental side of things, right? Just continuing on from the Trump and Elon drama. Now, if I was to, set a price target for Amazon this week, I think I would push above that 216 and really talk about that 223, a $10 move for Amazon this week, if possible. Now, it's not guaranteed, of course, it's just my price target. But I do think if the markets can push, if, again, things with Elon and Trump still continue to be a bit wary, this could be something to look at with more continuation to the upside, a $10 move to the upside. I don't know what this Trump guy has got planned. I don't know what he could say, but again, just beware that, Amazon could start, pushing, especially with that hammer candle, that green hammer candle. Add this with a bit of news, we could see it just pushing up, So yeah, we closed really well on Friday. Back-to-back green weeks. It's looking good for Amazon so far. Next up is Hims and Hers, ticker symbol HIMS. So when you look at this, what do you instantly notice? Everybody notices it is sitting on a nice level of support, right? So it's doing a great job of just holding here, right? It pushed up. Shout out Devin for calling the swings last week, and then it sold off, but it held. That is the most important thing. These are the swing pullbacks I like to look at. These are the swing pullbacks I like to talk about. And the thing with Hims is when it catches heat, when it catches fire, it can go crazy, right? It can go crazy. We saw it go from 27 all the way up to 65, and now it's at, still at 55, 56. It can still go back up to 65 pretty easily. Honestly, Hims is definitely one I'm looking at for upside potential. I just want to see a little bit more of a pullback, maybe going into open tomorrow. If we pull back all the way to 52 and hold and start uptrending again, look at the 4 hour, then it could be something for us. We've got a hammer candle again on the level of support, an inverted hammer on the 4 hour on the level of support, moving averages crossing to the upside, and a bit of a doji here as well, a little bit. So it's a lot of things happening with him, signaling potentially a big move. So I'll be watching this for calls up to that white line I have. So that would be $64. That'd be my price target. But I do like Hims. We've traded it a lot of times. And yeah, I think this is going to be a hot stock to watch this week, especially when it catches some momentum. So next up, I'm gonna go with Marvel. I've been shouting about this one for like I'd say a week straight. So if we go to the weekly chart with Marvel, look at this now. Marvel looks great, right? Got a nice weekly candle, outside bar, bouncing on a level of support. Daily chart shows a lot of strength. We could start pushing for that $76 spot where the moving average is. And hey, we bounced on the level of support. We kind of like found a strong level of support at $58.99. Now, hey, we could really start pushing up, right? So just watch Marvel. I think, I think it needs to pull back a little bit closer to the moving averages before it, really blasts off. But look, you need to make sure that you don't jump in too quickly, right? 4 hour, it can come down a little bit, maybe $66. 1 hour, it's at the moving averages, so that's fine. It might not pull back too much further, right? Thursday, we got a nice pullback, got a bounce on the 200 moving average and trended higher. Right now, if it does pull back again, great entry point. If it doesn't, it's okay. 4 hours is still overextended a bit, and it might just come to the moving average on the 4 hour. So that's pretty much Marvel for you. Next up, it's a funny one, MBIS, right? MBIS. So this is a momentum play. Look at the weekly chart, right? A strong outside bar, which means that this candle, which just closed, is outside, fully outside the previous candle. That means the previous candle is completely inside this one. It's closed above the 200 moving average on the weekly chart. The daily chart is just flying, booming. I'm waiting for a little bit of a pullback. I don't know where it will pull back to because it's a momentum play, right? Last time it pulled back, came all the way down to the 21-day moving average. This time it pulls back. I don't think it's coming down to 21. It might come down to the 9, around 41. But yeah, watch this one because it's a momentum play. Now, one thing to be aware of, this level of resistance or potential level of resistance, right? We hit that and then we came back down. We smacked the level, we wicked off it, came back down. We might have the same thing here, right? So even if tomorrow it just pushes straight out the gate up here, just watch out for the rejection at this level, $50.93. But this is purely momentum play, right? It's a bit like CoreWeave. It's a bit like Archer in the past, a little bit like APLD recently as well. So I think this has got something for us. Now, there is something very interesting with this, right? Because this can actually get very busy, right? The reason this can get very busy is if we break this $51 level, come back and retest it and trend higher, it can really fly. Look, right? It can really fly. It's been up here before, 70, 80s. It could really fly if we break that level, come back to test that level and, fly out again. Just beware of that. But on the other hand, if what happens back in January happens again, we look above it, came down, then hey, it could sell off hard. So just watch it, be wary of it, and then decide from there, what could be occurring. Here we go, TTD. So, anyone know why I'm looking at TTD? We got the nice gap up. We came back to the moving averages, consolidated, and again, look, sorry, 4 hour. 4 hours still above the 200 moving average, so it's fine. Last time we broke above the 200 moving average, we ripped all the way up, and then we consolidated, right? Now, we're starting to slowly build up, so I'll just wait. This is one where I'm saying like the setup is not yet there, but when it is there, it's gonna blow, and this is gonna be looking really good. So that's pretty much it for that. It's not one of the top ones to watch for this week. is one where I'm just like, yo, this could be something soon, but just keep it on your radar, right? The more pair of eyes we have, the better. But I say right now, it's not one of the top ones to watch. Just something to be aware of when it does start maybe catching some fire and gaining some momentum. Okay, MRK. So again, we're going to go to weekly chart to start off with. You see that it's below all the moving averages. It's in a clear downtrend on a weekly time frame, right? You can kind of identify a potential head and shoulders here as well. Not completely, but maybe a little bit of one, shoulders here, shoulders here. But we have gone to touch and test the moving average on the weekly chart. Daily chart, this is where the action starts to look a little bit different. Daily chart looks like we've broken above and the moving averages are converging, about to cross over to the upside. That's going to be a golden cross right there. The 9 lower time frame crossing above the 21 higher time frame. That, if it does happen, I'll look in this zone, in this area, to get into calls as we, try and push towards the $82 level. Look at the 4 hour. Now is where you start to really see, okay, we broke above the moving averages. They crossed over. We came back. We bounced. We pushed again. That's what I mean when I say different time frames tell a different story. The weekly chart looks like, nothing really happening yet. But then you start looking at the daily and the 4 hour and you say, okay, this is trying to get busy. This is trying to make something happen. So I'm like, yeah, okay, this is definitely on my radar. If anyone's traded MRK before, you got to know as well that it can really blow. Look here, back in April, great green streak, green bullish momentum, then the opposite straight away. So it can really move. It can really move. Next on my list is Micron, ticker symbol MU. So I've been talking about this one since it was about $85, $86 around here, right? Back in May. Unfortunately, I've not even been able to catch it once. Now, look at the inverted hammer on the daily time frame. Daily chart got an inverted hammer, but in fact, daily chart got so many different things. Let's just talk about them real quick, right? So, inverted hammer on the daily chart from Friday. Gravestone doji from Thursday. Gap up from Wednesday to Thursday. It's so much things happening right now, right? So much things happening right now. I think this is really going to get ready to explode to 113, 114. No matter what you trade, when you see when you see the moving averages diverging, you see a inverted hammer, you see a gravestone doji, you see it above levels of support or resistance, you see a gap up. Yeah, this is a stock that can get busy. It's got a lot of price action, it's got a lot of volatility. With the right volume, yeah, this goes to 113 this week. So MU is definitely on my radar. Like I said, since 85 back last month, I've been saying, yo, this is definitely something we want to watch. This is definitely something we want to check out. Now, it's already jumped up $25 since then. So yeah, I definitely say, yo, keep your eyes on that. I do like MU. I do like, what it's offering us. And I do like this, what's going on with the candlesticks here. Those candlesticks are telling us a lot. What's the next one? Great. In fact, just before I actually finish, let me also show you this on MU. So this white line is both of these white and green are previous levels of resistance. So beware that if we get knocked down, from here and start trading higher, it might go to test that level again. But it can get knocked down right here by that green and white line because those are previous levels of resistance and they are very strong levels of resistance. Oscar Health. So a few things about this one, guys. First and foremost, zoom out. Go to the weekly time frame and zoom out. Oscar Health has, a huge double top on the weekly chart from last year. Came all the way down. Starts uptrending again. Why am I highlighting this? Well, because this double top level is where I'd look for us to target right now. That's pretty much a 60% increase to get to that level again. So that gives me two ideas, right? And I'm going to draw something for you guys as well in a second. gives me two ideas, right? Daily chart, cool. You know, actually, I'm going to go for this. I'm going to go for this. I'm going to go for this. Could be trading in this little bit of a channel before we break out higher. Right? Watch Oscar Health. If it starts to break out, we break past this little bit of a, trend line that I've drawn. Remember, it's just a trend line I've drawn. We could head straight back up to, the 17s, 18s, and eventually the 20s. So the reason I'm saying that is because you can get calls for, I'd say probably a month out, right? You always give yourself grace. But not only that, this is not a bad price point to start accumulating some shares. I've never bought any shares of this company. And I think I'm getting close to maybe buying some shares purely because of the momentum. I don't think it's a stock where I'm looking at the financials and I'm saying, oh yeah, this and that is a reason that I'm gonna buy into it because of year-on-year growth or because of positive cash flow. And no, none of that. This is a pure momentum trade, a pure momentum play, right? You saw back in May we had a consolidation, April, May, right? I'm gonna just highlight it for you guys. A little bit of consolidation on a daily time frame. Gapped up, came down, bounced on a level of support, found a base, pushed up again. We come back to the moving averages and we hold. I think we're going to start breaking out of that channel. I like this. I like this a lot. I think I'm gonna really keep my eye on this week, and I do think it's got something for us. This is one of those where again, we've seen it before. We've seen it with HIMS. We've seen it with Robinhood. We've seen it with a couple stocks, SoFi for a little bit. They have a similar pattern like this. They gap up, push up, come down, start uptrending again. Before you know it, that $15 stock is $30 stock. Before you know it, $30 stock is $35 stock, and before you know it, it's $40 stock, and so on and so forth. These are the kind of plays where I'm like, you know what, you can throw out, the contracts are cheap. You can throw 100, 200 at it, and then see how it plays out over the next couple of weeks. These are the ones that are like kind of like sleepers, and then they just gap up. Sleeping here, gapped up, came down, kind of sleeping, consolidated, came up again. So yeah, watch this one. Watch Oscar. I think it's something for us. And I'm going to bring another one which is a little bit similar. ACHR, Archer. So with Archer, we had this downtrend, right? Remember we traded it back here with the small account challenge. We did about 450%, I think, if not more, when we started the downtrend. Now we broke out of the downtrend, right? So if I zoom out a little bit, let's call this here the downtrend. Actually, I'm not going to highlight it, but let's just call this the downtrend, right? Let's call this the downtrend. This is the downtrend. We broke out the downtrend, went all the way, the stock doubled. Now we're again, just starting to come out of a downtrend again. This one's a bit of a steeper slope. But again, we're in this downtrend. We're just starting to break out again. What happened last time we broke out the downtrend with ACHR? We flew. Remember that with the small account challenge? It flew. Same thing is starting to set up right now. And so what does that mean? Well, that means I think it's almost time to take advantage of it again. If I look at the weekly chart here, I'm like, okay, we are holding above the moving averages here. It's fine. That's bullish. That's a bullish sign. Weekly finished green. Daily closing above the moving averages. And it looks like it's starting to get ready to brew again. Starting to get ready to, push out again, So here is a resistance level. That looks like it was also the new support. And that's what I'm saying. This chart is telling us a lot of different things, right? We can really get nice with it, right? Here, level of resistance came down. Level of resistance, but we broke above it. Came down, found a new level of support. So with stocks and charts, patterns often tend to repeat themselves. Here here, the old level of resistance became a new level of support. Where we previously couldn't break above, we now cannot break below. This could be something. This could be really something. And I'm really looking at this one as one of my top ones to watch this week. I think right here, we can identify some breakout potential, right? So I will be looking to get into some calls with this. I do see it as one of those plays that you can take for the small account and also for your regular account. Like I said, we've broken out of this downtrend and we're starting to rise again. So keep it on watch. Keep it on watch. A couple more now. I don't know how many I've done. I think I've done like 9. So I've got Google here. You guys know Google because we traded it from Thursday to Friday with the swing trades, right? So Google is a weird one right now. Look at this price action here. Kind of really indecisive. Finally got to, some kind of uptrend. Came back down, held, and continued rising, which is why we decided to swing trade it. So if you look at where it's dropped from, Google is really recovering, really. It's at 173 now. It was at 140, 142. After it fell from 206 all the way to 142. It's now at 173. It's doing all right. It's starting to recover a bit. Maybe a little bit of a resistance zone out here, but it is starting to recover. So I'll be watching Google as well. I think it can slowly creep up. You saw that from Thursday to Friday, we managed to get, I think, 270%, 280%. I saw Shonoff had like a 300%. Yeah, it's a weird one, but it's something which is kind of starting to show more signs of strength. Google weekly chart, you got an outside bar, right? Not a full outside bar because the wicks are still longer, but the body's inside this body. The moving average is diverging to the upside. 4 green weeks in a row for Google. It could be something for us, right? And the moving average just closed on the 21 as well. Sorry, the body of the candle just closed on the 9-day moving average as well. So yeah, now I'll be looking at Google calls. And another stock I'm looking at for calls, probably AMD, right? So this is it's a lot of lines on my chart, but you can just see this. We wicked off the 21-day moving average, we pushed higher, came back down, wicked off the 9-day moving average. We've got an inside bar right here. The body and both wicks are inside the previous candle. The daily chart on AMD has an inside bar, a very strong inside bar. The weekly chart on AMD finished green. Nice. Bullish. 4-hour time frame. You see, we pushed up, broke above the moving averages, went to touch that level at 119, 120, came straight back down, and we consolidated in between moving averages. Got a couple long wicked candles in here. We could be getting ready for a very big move to the upside. So just watch it, be ready for it, as I said before. Now, this stock, I'm going to touch on it. I don't really like touching on it at times like this because a lot of news is going to drive it. But this chart is still talking to us, I believe, right? So this is a very weird one, right? There's a weekly chart. Horrible, right? Dropped out my zone. Gravestone doji here. It's a weird one, Tesla. It's looking very weak and the momentum is clearly downwards, right? We go to the daily chart. Momentum is clearly downwards, right? 7-8 red days in a row. Hasn't seen a green day since 27th of May. Now, add to the fact, because this is the technicals, right? Now, if we talk about the fundamentals, add to the fact that Trump is also threatening to remove EV subsidies. That could really hurt Tesla in a major way because that does help towards their revenue. If Trump does, he's already threatening it. If he mentions it again, that they're trying to remove EV subsidies, that can hurt Tesla in a major way. Now, you've already got the tariffs affecting Tesla. Now, we know, Tesla gets parts for their cars from different parts of the world, right? That's what's obviously getting taxed, or that's what's receiving the import taxes at 60%, 65%, or whatever numbers it is. That's already hurting Tesla. Now, if they remove EV subsidies, then it's going to set this company back even more, and we could see more blood to 250s, 240s. Again, this one right now is being moved by news because of the arguments between Elon, Trump. You accused a man of being on the Epstein list. Like that's literally that's such a big accusation. So you guys know it's not a good look for Tesla right now, right? It's not a good look at all. So beware if you are trading Tesla. I would I'd definitely look towards trading this as more of a day trade than a swing trade, because yeah, this one is not really one you want to mess with if you swing in it overnight and then some kind of news comes up overnight. You know, just be aware. I think this is one, again, inside bar. I think this is one that can move further down, but it's more for a day trade. I don't think you want to be holding Tesla overnight, especially with those expensive contracts out the money. So yeah, that's Tesla. Got a couple more. PayPal. So I have been banging on about PayPal since November 2023. It's finally showing some signs of strength. Again, we're above the moving average on all three time. Sorry, we're above the moving averages, all three moving averages. Price is above on the daily, the weekly, looking all right for now. We're way below the 200, but it's looking all right. Got a nice green candle to close out last week. Daily's looking pretty good. You got a bit of a inverse head and shoulders here. If I Here we go. Right. Bit of inverse head and shoulders, right? Head, shoulder, shoulder. So just beware. And then you can also probably highlight a bit of a resistance here, right? Resistance here, maybe somewhere along in the past. Yep, there you go. See, it marks itself, right? Got rejected here back in September and is again potentially a resistance level. So watch out for that. But if it does break out, hey, it could be something good. But like I said, identify the inverse head and shoulders here on the daily time frame. 4-hour chart. I like what I'm seeing. We just testing the moving averages and going higher. We respect the moving averages. So I like this. And I don't really have any problem with PayPal calls, but I do think it's one where you're going to get 30-40% returns, not necessarily those huge returns like we did on APLD and stuff like that. Which reminds me, let's also just talk about APLD right now. So 4-hour time frame, very nice. Consolidation breakout, came back to test moving average, pushed up again, coming down again. It's going to keep doing this, coming down and pushing up, right? When it does come down, as long as it holds the moving averages, we should always be good. Daily time frame is way overextended. Just be careful with that, right? So if it comes down, it can always come down pre-market to 11, 1080. But as long as when open comes and we know we're not down too bad, I don't have any problems with it. This is the crazy part. The weekly candle is way overextended. Huge weekly candle. We're able to take advantage of this, but it does also mean just be aware of it, right? Most of you have calls expiring June 20th. So yeah, it's just one where I'd say it's just one where it's such a great potential play. You got to be ready for it to do some nasty pullbacks. And if you're in this trade, I say the best way to manage it is trade it, take your profit, let it pull back, get in again, take your profit, let it pull back, rinse and repeat. So yeah, apart from that, it's gonna be a hectic ride, but I think we can get to that $17 price point. When I scroll out and I look at where it's come from, and I see that it was up at 26, up at 30. It gives me a good feeling about this one. So just keep it on your radar again. Now, last but not least, GRRR is like a bonus stock for you guys. So, we like the momentum plays in here. We eat off the momentum plays, CoreWeave, APLD, Archer, momentum plays. Let's talk about GRRR. Gorilla. Yeah. So, bounced on the moving average, on the 200 moving average multiple times, respected it very well, broke above the 9 and 21 as they crossed to the upside. Watch for some pullbacks with this. It's up, it's up 18% on Friday. It may come down a little bit before pushing on higher. That $26 level is something I'd look to. But again, this is more of a bonus stock. This is again a momentum play. It's one that, you catch this one on the right day. You're trading, let's say, because the contracts are cheap. It's a $22 stock. The contracts are cheap. It's not like CoreWeave that's now $160. The contracts are cheap for this one. So if you're spending $170 or $200 on this one, you catch on the right day. Within a couple of days, that's 70, 80, 90% returns as long as it continues to move higher. Like it did here, 4 green days, pull back one day. That's the entry right there. Weekly chart. Yeah, weekly chart is nice. 4-hour chart. A little bit overextended, so it needs to come down a little bit. But yeah, guys, that is it from me. So now is the fun part where you guys get to bring your stocks to the table. So I would say the best thing to do is drop it in the lounge chat, and then let me know if you're looking at calls, puts, upside, swings, day trades, whatever. But yeah, let's bring your stocks to the table and let's get after it. First one is Uber. Why am I not surprised? So this is the 4-hour for Uber. Moving averages to 921 cross the upside. That's the golden cross I've been talking about. Daily chart starting to break above the 9 and 21. We closed above the 9 and 21. Nice close above. Good reversal pattern here. Weekly is holding above the moving averages. Does anyone see anything wrong with this? I like it a lot. Next one. QBTS. It's the quantum stocks. Here we go. Oh, it's overextended, way overextended. It needs to come down a little bit on the weekly. Daily looking a little bit smoother. Not crazy. Daily is looking more realistic with QBTS. 4-hour. Yes, I like this. Needs to come down a little bit. But yeah, this could push. I'll just say, for that $20.39 spot again, the highs from last month. Docu. I like the stocks you guys are bringing. Tell me if you're looking at puts, calls, what you're looking at, right? This is the reason I said, tell me if it's puts or calls. Here, I don't know if you're looking at puts or calls. I'm saying this is puts, but at the same time, it could bounce here. But it's also in no man's land. I'd wait for this to show a couple more days of price action so I can get a better idea of what's happening. I don't really like that one so far. It's a good find, though. I think long term, this could be a nice price point to buy some shares, but again, it can still drop. Cheap can always get cheaper, as you know. Is IWM still in play for calls? Let's check it out for you. Yes, it is. Above all the moving averages, we got a nice gap up on a daily time frame. 4-hour time frame, you see IWM swiftly, smoothly moving up to the upside. Yep, if you're in IWM calls and you're swinging, I don't know what it's doing right now in overnight hours, but hey, if you're swinging IWM calls, good job, because we got out of ours, but hey, it looks like it's headed towards that 212 level pretty quickly. So well done for doing that. Any other stocks? What other stocks are we looking at, guys? And let me know if it's calls or puts. I told you, you're looking at to the upside or you're looking to the downside. I need to know. Otherwise, it's tough to, it's tough to really show you what I'm looking at, what I would look for, what I'm looking at. Target, weekly bullish engulfing. Target, I'm kind of done with Target for now. Target should be at $99. It's just wasting time, man. Weekly bullish engulfing lies. We need to break above the moving average. We've been stuck below this. It's been janky for no reason. But good spot there. NET. Oh yeah, this was all day long. This is a play and a half. Oh yeah, this is a play and a half. Why you didn't tell me about Cloudflare? Used to trade this on. Yeah, this is calls all day long. Needs to come down a little bit just to trend higher. Yes. Oh, you're already in the calls. That's not fair. You didn't even show us. This is crazy. You did not even tell us you're already in the play. This is painful. Okay, it's all good. All right, what are we going with next? You call O. Oh, this is almost like my entry point. 4 hours not showing me enough. Do I need it up above the moving average on the 4 hour? Daily, I like that though. Weekly is a bit overextended. I would say that. You guys see how I'm using the higher time frames because I'm preparing for my swing trades. I'm not looking at the 5 minute, 15 minute, and the janky intraday stuff. I'm preparing for my swing trades. Riot calls. This is crypto based, so I'm not gonna potentially. Yeah, weekly is nice. Daily is real smooth. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Right. But up 10% on Friday. Can I repeat that tomorrow? That part I don't know. I don't know about that one. Right. It's already, the thing is I don't like to get in when they're already up. You know. Yeah. Yeah. Right, it looks good though, but I don't like to get in the play when it's already up 10% on the day because you getting in at the high, not the high, but you getting in up high. Spicy said, looks like SCR is doing well overnight. Oh no, have we missed it? No, please no. I think we can still get in. You get to $18, and I like the shares as well. I think I can take it. Oof. Can you chart Nebius Group? I already did that one, so you have to watch the recording. 212 on after hours. Exxon calls maybe. LNG is not really doing well right now. It's staying in this channel. It needs to break out this channel for me to touch Exxon. Look at the weekly chart. No, sir. No, sir. It's not good yet, but it's a good look though. I like that you put it on my radar. It's potentially, right? Closing above the moving averages, potentially. But it's target calls. No, I've already talked about target. Shopify swing. If you're going to get target calls, this is what I do. Get August expiry and get a simple $102. Something low like that. Shopify swing. All right, you're seeing it twice. It must be that good. Oh yeah, it is that good. Look at this. Look at this, Shopify. This is how you draw your lines, guys. So we'll do this. Right, and then we got this, which we broke out of. And we got this, which we broke out of. Yeah, that's why you want the Shopify swings. This is a great play. Oh, wait, is it back at 111? I thought it was like 90. When was it? Yeah, it was. Oh, Shopify swings is great. We break that 112 is up from Shopify. Oh, this could be. All right, anybody who has not asked for a stock, please ask in the chat because I want it to be fair as well. I know I've missed a couple, but good stocks though. Anybody who's not asked for a stock yet, want to keep it fair. But there's a lot of setups. Visa calls. Oh, these are. How come you guys never posted these in the when it's here? Jeez, now we're buying at the top. I can't do Visa up here. Nah, they wait for it to be up 4% on the day. I can't do Visa up here. No way. No way. You see any setups? Coinbase. Yeah, this is definitely a setup, bro. I'm getting in this. Yeah, for sure. He said Coinbase. Coinbase is like MSTR and Mara. I like it though, but I have to wait a little bit momentum. This is a crazy inside bar. This is a crazy inside bar. Crazy inside bar with an inverted hammer as well. Coinbase. Just wait for Bitcoin. Just wait for Bitcoin to move, and then you can trade it up to 268. Jamia calls. He said Jamia calls. Daily chart. Oh, this is kind of. I don't like the red, green. It's okay. It's not really. It's consistently uptrending though. It's not a bad one, but if you're new, say yourself the stress of the chop and the theta, especially if you don't have enough time till expiry. Lily calls, IONQ calls, Lily calls. Is it 770? Yeah, I said it. I called it exact 769. Yeah, Lily calls could be ready soon. We need to break about this though on the 4 hour. Yeah, the daily's okay, can push up there. Weekly is all right. Yeah, soon enough. Not ready yet. Apple. That's a great one. Bond. Well done. So let's talk about Apple. Apple's been doing really bad, I'll be honest. So Apple on the weekly is below all the moving averages. Apple is kind of getting stuck in between each week. The daily time frame shows us that here we're up, we're down, we're up, we're down, we're up, we're down, we're up again. Apple is really janky right now. It's really struggling. I don't know if I would trade this, and if I was to trade it, I don't know which way I would trade it. So that should tell you kind of what my thoughts and feelings are on this one. So, yeah, yeah. I don't understand what's going on with this company. I know they could have the tariffs on the manufacturing parts, and of course people are like, oh, well, just manufacture in America. Well, no, because Apple don't want to pay $2,000 to make a $1,500 iPhone, right? They want to go overseas and they want to pay $20. Let's be honest, right? They want to get that cheap labor, cheap parts, all that kind of stuff. So Apple's kind of been stuck because of those kind of things. And yeah, I don't know about this one right now. Apple event tomorrow. That's good. DJT stock. Who was talking about XYZ course like I didn't give that to him? Like, how many times do you want me to analyze XYZ, XYZ? I gave you that play. You're talking about XYZ. Okay, cool. DJT. This is clearly bearish, but yeah, it's just getting slaughtered. But if he has, yeah, he has a big parade. See, I was gonna say if he has news, he has a big parade coming up, and soon his birthday. Yeah, his birthday is on June 14th. I don't know if I would want to touch this though. Like for me, there's better opportunities elsewhere than this janky Donald Trump stuff, right? Like rejected by the moving averages, downtrending, and if it does push, we can catch it in the momentum when it's really pushing. But it's not one that I'll try and catch near the lows because I know it could just get lower and worse. It's a good look though, but like I said, Trump is a bit of a weird one. XLF, we were looking at the financial sector, huh? I like. What does JP Morgan do? I like. What's IBM doing? I like. What's Wells Fargo doing? I like. The financial sector is looking good. Dell, holding it here. Dell is not really it's consolidating. This is the daily chart. Inverted hammer on the daily chart. But look though, look at Dell, right? It just boxed this up. So that's all it is. Just box this up. Nothing happening really. You see a couple green candles down, you might get excited. The weekly chart, no, consolidating all around. Yeah, no. But it does mean that it's not yet, but it's eventually going to be ready for a nice big move, either to the upside or downside. Most likely, I think to the upside. IBIT. Start with the weekly. Nice, clearly a bit overextended, but clearly bullish. Daily. Price starting to hang in between the moving averages. Inverted hammer again. A lot of inverted hammers, right? They tried to push the price down, still ended green. IBIT could be something, right? But we need crypto to move as well for that one. My MU, I've already done MU. I think it's at a level of resistance, like around $102. So just beware. XYZ, I'll just do it because I know you guys love it. Ever since I put you on back at $45 in 2nd of May, it's just been rising. Yeah, it's still looking good. This is one I'd say, buy yourself 5-6 weeks till expiry and then just keep riding it. You guys, ever since I gave you guys XYZ from here after the earnings drop, you guys been eating 800%. The lady last week got 1900% on XYZ. You guys are never going to leave that stock alone no more. I'm slapping that block. So XYZ. So, all right, we are 1 hour and 2 minutes in. Okay, I'm late. What does an inverted hammer indicate? So, depending on what kind of inverted hammer you have. So, I'm gonna show you this first of all. So, Amazon, this is a this right here is a hammer candle. Right, this is a hammer candle. This signifies that they had price down here at 210. You know, a lot of sellers, but price closed above here. So price closed up here. This body is, you know, obviously the open and close. The wick is where price moved during the day. So that means, you know, this is a positive sign, right? This is a bullish sign. It's a positive sign. It means they managed to get price closing up here. You know, potential to continue higher. On the other hand, what stock was it? Was it XYZ or was it IBIT? All right, it was IBIT. IBIT got a inverse hammer. Sorry, inverted hammer. Now, what happens is after a downtrend, right? You might see an inverted hammer. It just means potentially a reversal could be coming, and because this is a green hammer, it could be a bullish reversal. So we have the downtrend. We've got the inverted hammer, and it's a green inverted hammer. Now we could be getting ready for a nice, you know, push to the upside, right? Price obviously closed above where it opened, bullish. The long wick to the upside, so they did try to push it up during the day, but all this happened after a downtrend. Now we could be having a reversal right here potentially. That's it. Does that help? Buyers might step in soon. Buyers might gain control soon. I like a firm. Look at this is why I like a firm. It was on my radar for about 3 weeks, and I just kept waiting for it to pull back again. And every time it pulled back, I somehow missed it. So I don't know what's going on there. Yeah, firm. I like a firm. I think it can go to $70 in the next couple of months. If it can get back up to here, right here, 63, and then 69 up here. I like a firm. Any other stocks? All right. Any other stocks? And let me know if calls or puts, so I know what I'm looking at. If you're just telling me stocks and then expecting me to do magic, you know I can't do that. So tell me calls or puts. If you've got a price target, even better. But if you don't, it's okay. You know, you're here to learn. Okay, QQQ calls. I'll tell you why I would wait for QQQ calls. Right. We're 2% away from all-time highs. Was it 2% or was it maybe even less for QQQ? Nasdaq rose 2.3%. All right. Either way, I'm not sure. Okay. Either way, I'm not sure. But either way, we're near the highs, right? We're near enough to the highs, right? We're $11 away from the highs. I think we might. I wouldn't say get stuck here. We might pull back a little bit, $4 or $5, maybe slowly uptrend again. I don't know if we're going to see another $5 day like we did Friday. That's a lot. Like a 1% jump in QQ, that's a lot, right? It's supposed to usually take like a week to do that, but it's moving crazy right now. But I can see where you're coming from. I would just wait. That's all I'd say. Yes, you can catch the recording later. I need to figure out how to actually. I'll wait. I'll make a way. You know, I'll stay up a little bit later so we can do the recording. DG calls Adobe. DG Dollar General. Let it come down, man. It's jumped up so high. It's a little bit overextended. Look at the weekly chart. That candle so green. 4 hour is a little bit better, but for the higher time frames are so overextended. Just wait a little bit. Adobe. You know what I like about Adobe? This is one of those stocks, and I'm talking about from a stock long-term investing standpoint. This is one of those that's like it's almost like a recession proof. Like no matter what economy we're in, what's going on, these guys are going to be doing their thing. You know, these guys have got a great product, great subscription model. It don't matter what happens. You know, their business is going to be booming, 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 booming. You know, yeah, I like Adobe a lot, but I wouldn't trade it as in like intraday and stuff like that. Swing trading, I wouldn't do that. QQQ, UNH, RBA. Yeah, Adobe is not 1 hour swing. UNH, gotta wait. It's just consolidating here. Every day I see, oh, UNH is up. It goes up and then it comes back down. Like, yeah, UNH, I'll just wait. If you want to get calls, give yourself like 4 months. RBA, this is actually much nicer. Do get a red close. This ain't bad, you know why? Patterns are telling itself. Broke out above moving averages, came back. Sorry. You know what? This weekly chart is actually crazy. Broke above, came back, broke above, came back, broke above, came back. Higher highs, higher lows. Daily is decent, consolidating in between the moving averages right now. Yeah. All right. 2 more stocks. We've been at it 1 hour and 10 minutes. 2 more stocks. It's going to be 3 a.m. soon. I ain't got, all that energy. I still need to upload this as well. So 2 more stocks. What stocks are they going to be? Let me know if it's to the upside, to the downside, what it is. RKLB calls. You know I'm with you for that. Only problem is a 10% jump Friday. I need it to come down a little bit. We already did DG. I like RBG. I mean, sorry, RKLB. And I think it goes up to 33 again within the next month. So we actually, sorry, I'll just say it this way: by the end of June. Yeah, we already did that stock there. One more stock. Who's got the stock for me? UPST calls after pullback. Well, we did Affirm, and Affirm got the same chart as UPST, so that's going to be the stock for today. UPST, yeah, just don't get stuck here again. Resistance, previous resistance like twice around in and around this level. Yeah, just be careful. Yeah. SMCI calls. All right, that's your. I'd wait. Weekly says okay. Not bad. Daily says okay. Not bad. We need to see some kind of movement though. I mean, this consolidation caused a breakout, and it's not really consolidation. It's not that clear. It's like I said for, I think Adobe. This is where I'd be like, yeah, better opportunities elsewhere. Look, couple days you're down, couple days you're up, couple days you're down. Yeah, this is one I'll just leave alone really for me right now. I see better opportunities elsewhere. Okay, now the hourly chart is nice, 4 hour chart is nice. Daily chart is a little bit overextended, and don't these contracts also cost like $300 a piece? I think that is it for tonight. Oof. Time flies when you're having fun. Well, thank you guys for showing up. The recording will be available. Just make sure you remind me in the chat. Let me know in the chat if you guys enjoyed it, and let me know if you have any questions. Thank you guys so much. See you guys tomorrow. Yeah, let me know in the chat if you enjoyed it. Appreciate it all. Peace and love. And if you want more like this, let me know, We can do this more often, even during the weeks and stuff. So appreciate all of you guys. Yeah. That's it, folks. Make sure you drop your WAP reviews too, so we can do the giveaway. If you haven't done your WAP review, just ask in the chat how to do it. We can do the giveaway. You're going to do the giveaway for WAP. do a nice giveaway for you guys.